Smyrna leaders are expected to vote on whether to allow guns in city parks. Right now, the town bans firing guns within city limits, but a new state law limits how much cities can regulate legal hunting. Under the proposal, shooting would still be prohibited within 500 feet of a school. Anyone who fires a gun recklessly could still face criminal charges. The public can share their thoughts at tomorrow's town council meeting, which starts at 5 p.m. For context, a 3-judge panel ruled last year that banning guns in public parks violated the Second Amendment that stemmed from a 2023 lawsuit. Supporters claimed the law was too broad, but some are concerned about gun safety, of course, in public places.